Your focus determines your reality. This is one of the most important lessons you can learn in life. Too many people spend their energy on what others are doing or saying instead of concentrating on themselves. Silence is the ultimate power when used wisely. In a world full of constant noise, learning when to speak and when to stay quiet can protect your energy and sharpen your mind. In 2026, focusing on yourself and staying silent is no longer optional if you want real growth. You will discover how to prioritize your goals, develop discipline, and strengthen your mind without unnecessary distractions. This video will show you practical steps to manage your energy, improve your habits, and achieve results quietly but powerfully. If you are ready to invest in yourself and create meaningful progress, then this video will guide you every step of the way. Number 1. Spend time understanding yourself before seeking external validation. When you begin 2026, the most important investment you can make is in understanding who you really are. Many people spend their lives trying to impress others, seeking approval, or chasing recognition. They measure their value based on likes, comments, opinions, or fleeting applause. But let me tell you, true power comes from knowing your own mind and your own heart. Take time each day to sit quietly and observe your thoughts. Notice what makes you happy, what frustrates you, and what truly energizes you. Your emotions are not obstacles. They are signals guiding you toward what aligns with your deepest values. When you understand yourself, you stop being swayed by other people's opinions. You recognize what matters to you and what does not. Spend time reflecting on your strengths and weaknesses without judgment. This is not about criticizing yourself. It is about being brutally honest with your own abilities and limitations. Write down what you are good at and where you struggle. Track your patterns, your habits, and the situations that trigger stress or joy. When you do this consistently, you start to see yourself more clearly. The clarity you gain will allow you to make decisions that are aligned with your goals, instead of choices that simply seek acceptance from others. When you stop living for applause and start living for personal growth, your energy shifts dramatically. You feel lighter because you are no longer burdened by other people's expectations. Understanding yourself also means understanding your values and your priorities. What are the things in life you cannot compromise on? What principles define how you want to live your life? Many people go through years without ever defining these, and as a result, they live scattered, reactive, and distracted lives. Take the time to write down your non-negotiables. These are the things that guide your choices, your actions, and your relationships. When you have clarity on your values, you no longer waste time trying to fit into someone else's mold. You make decisions from a place of strength rather than fear. Every choice becomes intentional because you know what aligns with your purpose. Another critical part of understanding yourself is being aware of your emotions and how they influence your behavior. Many people do not realize how reactive they are to external situations. A word, a glance, or a small comment can ruin their day because they do not understand their own triggers. When you practice observing your emotions without immediate reaction, you gain control over your responses. You learn to pause before reacting, to think before speaking, and to choose actions that are in line with your long-term goals. Emotional awareness is a skill, and like any skill, it requires patience, repetition, and honesty with yourself. Spend time identifying the people and situations that affect your mindset. Notice who makes you feel drained, anxious, or doubtful. Notice who inspires you, challenges you, and makes you feel energized. Understanding yourself also includes understanding how others impact your mental and emotional state. You will begin to naturally distance yourself from people who do not serve your growth and spend more time with those who help you elevate your thinking and behavior. This is not selfishness. This is strategic self-preservation. In 2026, you cannot afford to let other people's opinions dictate your energy. Your focus has to be on your growth, your skills, and your inner state. Journaling is a powerful tool to spend time understanding yourself. When you write honestly about your day, your decisions, and your feelings, You begin to notice patterns that otherwise go unseen. You may see the areas where you consistently give your power away, or where you look for validation. Instead of taking initiative, writing helps you track your progress, notice blind spots, and clarify what is most important. When you return to your journal weeks or months later, you can see growth that you could not see day by day. This becomes evidence that your efforts to focus inward are working. It builds confidence, because you know you are improving from the inside out rather than relying on external recognition. Part of understanding yourself also involves spending time in silence and reflection. The world constantly demands your attention with notifications, voices, and opinions. If you never spend quiet time alone, you never get the chance to hear your own thoughts clearly. Take a few minutes every day to disconnect from the noise. Sit quietly, breathe, and ask yourself meaningful questions. What do I want to achieve? What kind of person do I want to become? How am I feeling today, and why? These questions seem simple, but they are rarely asked honestly. When you answer them without distraction, you begin to understand yourself on a much deeper level than surface appearances or public image. Understanding yourself also requires recognizing your past patterns and mistakes without judgment. Do not beat yourself up for failures or regrets. Instead, study them carefully and understand why you made those choices. What led you to act in ways that did not serve your growth? What lessons were hidden in those experiences? When you can extract learning from your past rather than punishing yourself, you gain clarity about who you are and what you need to do differently. This reflection builds resilience. It strengthens your decision-making and prevents you from repeating behaviors that waste your time or energy. Another element of understanding yourself is identifying your passions and interests. What excites you? What would you pursue, even if no one else approved or supported you? Many people live lives that are acceptable to others, but leave their own dreams untouched. Spend time discovering what truly motivates you, what sparks your curiosity, and what makes you feel alive. When you align your actions with your passions, you experience a sense of fulfillment that external validation can never provide. This alignment brings clarity, focus, and motivation that lasts longer than applause or recognition ever could. Self-awareness also involves understanding your limits. You cannot be everything to everyone, and trying to do so will only drain you. Accept that you have boundaries, and that protecting your time and energy is necessary for growth. When you understand yourself, you know when to say no. Saying no is not rude. It is a declaration of self-respect and focus. The ability to protect your boundaries allows you to devote more energy to what truly matters, instead of spreading yourself thin in an attempt to meet others' expectations. In 2026, protecting your energy will be one of the most important skills you can master. Finally, understanding yourself means trusting yourself. The more time you spend observing your thoughts, your emotions, and your reactions, the more confidence you develop in your own judgment. You do not need constant reassurance from others. You make decisions based on your own understanding and values. You become consistent because your actions come from knowledge, not impulsive reactions. This confidence is quiet, but it is powerful. It allows you to move forward without distraction, without constantly seeking approval, and without letting other people dictate the direction of your life. When you spend time understanding yourself, you create a foundation for the rest of your life. All other success, growth, and relationships are built on this foundation. You will notice a sense of calm because you are no longer driven by external validation. Your mind will be sharper, your energy higher, and your focus stronger. The more you understand yourself, the less you need to explain yourself. You naturally attract the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances, simply because your clarity and focus create a magnetic alignment between who you are and what you want. You must remember that this is not a one-time effort. Understanding yourself is an ongoing practice that requires attention, honesty, and patience. Each day, ask yourself what you are feeling, what you are thinking, and why. Notice what decisions you made that day and whether they aligned with your values. Over time, this practice rewires your mind. You begin to naturally prioritize your own growth over external approval. You start seeing life as a series of choices that belong to you rather than a series of demands from others. This is freedom. This is power. Your task in 2026 is to slow down enough to truly see yourself, observe without judgment, reflect without distraction, and act without fear. When you invest in knowing yourself first, everything else becomes easier. Relationships improve because you know your boundaries. Work improves because your decisions are based on clarity rather than insecurity. Happiness improves because you are no longer seeking fleeting approval from the outside world. All of this starts with a single commitment to spend time understanding yourself before seeking external validation. This is where true transformation begins. Number 2, prioritize your goals and avoid distractions from others. When you look at 2026, one of the most powerful actions you can take is to clearly identify your goals and refuse to let outside distractions steer you off course. Too many people drift through life reacting to what others demand of them. They spend hours answering messages, engaging in gossip, or trying to satisfy people who have no understanding of their personal vision. Your energy is limited. Every moment you allow to be taken away by someone else is a moment that could have been spent advancing your purpose. Prioritizing your goals means being intentional with your time and your focus. It is not about being rude or disconnected. It is about understanding that your life is finite. And every choice matters. Start by writing down your most important goals for the year. Identify not only what you want to achieve, but also why it matters to you. Goals without a clear reason behind them are easily pushed aside by distraction. When you understand the emotional and practical importance of each goal, it becomes harder to abandon it when interruptions arise. Categorize your goals into short-term, mid-term, and long-term. This gives you a clear roadmap. Review them daily to keep them alive in your mind. The more vivid your goals are in your consciousness, the less likely external noise can shake you. Next, analyze where your attention is currently going. Track the hours you spend each day on tasks, conversations, or entertainment that do not contribute to your growth. Most people underestimate how much time they allow to be consumed by distractions. Social media, unproductive conversations, or constant notifications are small leaks in your energy that add up over days, weeks, and months. By identifying these leaks, you can consciously redirect your attention toward actions that align with your goals. You are not eliminating interaction with others entirely. You are simply making choices that respect the priorities you set for yourself. You also need to create boundaries with people who pull your attention away. This can feel uncomfortable at first because many people expect instant responses or continuous engagement. Be firm and clear about your availability. When you prioritize your goals, you communicate through action that your growth comes first. This is not arrogance. It is a commitment to yourself. Over time, people around you will either respect your focus or naturally drift away if their energy does not support your journey. This is part of the process of creating an environment that nurtures your ambitions instead of draining them. Focus is a skill that requires practice and protection. Every time you switch tasks or respond to a minor interruption, you are training your mind to scatter. To counter this, design a daily routine that dedicates uninterrupted time to your highest priorities. Schedule blocks of time where you focus exclusively on work that directly impacts your goals. Silence notifications, close unrelated apps, and create a physical or mental space that encourages concentration. This consistency builds momentum. Small focused efforts repeated over time create results far greater than scattered bursts of energy driven by other people's needs or opinions. Distractions are not always external. Sometimes they come from within. Fear, doubt, and self-criticism can easily draw you away from meaningful action. You must confront these inner obstacles by consciously reminding yourself of your goals and your reasons for pursuing them. Speak to yourself with clarity and conviction. Affirm that your progress is important and that you will not allow minor disruptions to derail your journey. Every thought you give attention to shapes your behavior. When you consistently direct your thoughts toward your priorities, your actions naturally follow. Another essential aspect of prioritizing goals is learning to say no. Saying no is not a rejection of people. It is a declaration that your time and attention belong to your purpose. You cannot chase everyone else's expectations and achieve your own ambitions at the same time. Many people fail because they try to please too many others or take on tasks that do not align with their growth. Every yes you give to distractions is a no to your future. Practice saying no with confidence and without guilt. This does not isolate you. It empowers you to invest fully in what matters most. Visualization is a powerful tool to strengthen your focus on goals. Spend a few minutes each day picturing the results you desire. Imagine the details, the feelings, and the environment when you achieve your targets. Your brain responds to these images as if they are real, guiding your decisions and increasing your motivation. This mental clarity keeps you centered when others try to pull you in different directions. Visualization bridges the gap between intention and action. It creates an internal compass that continuously reminds you of your priorities, making distractions easier to ignore. Time management alone is not enough. Discipline is the engine that converts planning into results. Every day, make deliberate choices about what to do, when to do it, and what to avoid. Start each day with a clear plan that reflects your goals. Reevaluate at night what worked and what wasted your attention. This reflection allows you to make better decisions tomorrow. When you consistently take control of your time, you reclaim power over your life. You stop reacting to external pressures and start acting with purpose. The clarity and confidence that comes from disciplined action is unmatched. Avoiding distractions also requires emotional intelligence. Recognize how your interactions with others impact your mindset. Some conversations drain your energy without adding value. Some people create doubt or negativity, often unconsciously. Learning to identify these dynamics and adjusting your involvement preserves your focus. You do not have to confront everyone or remove yourself from all interaction. You simply allocate energy where it creates growth. The more emotionally aware you become, the better you get at protecting your attention and aligning your actions with your priorities. Accountability is another key factor. Share your goals with a trusted mentor or friend who respects your focus and supports your growth. Regularly reporting progress keeps you honest and reinforces your commitment. It also helps you resist the urge to engage in distractions, because you are aware that someone is tracking your actions. Accountability provides both motivation and clarity. It is a reminder that prioritizing your goals is not optional if you are serious about success. It strengthens your internal discipline because you know your progress is visible to someone who matters. Mindset plays a critical role in prioritization. You must adopt the belief that your goals are worth protecting from interruptions. This mindset allows you to remain calm when others demand attention or when unplanned events try to pull you off course. Your priorities are not negotiable because they define the life you want to build. When you internalize this perspective, every action and decision begins to align with what matters most. External noise loses its power because your internal commitment is stronger than any distraction. Continuous evaluation is necessary. Each week, assess how much time you spent on meaningful progress versus distractions. Be honest about where you allowed yourself to be pulled off course. Use this reflection to adjust your strategies and protect your focus even more effectively in the following week. The ability to evaluate and correct is what separates those who achieve goals from those who drift aimlessly. It is a skill that compounds over time, improving both productivity and self-confidence. Prioritizing goals also means breaking them into actionable steps. Large ambitions can feel overwhelming, and this often leads to avoidance. By creating smaller, manageable tasks, you make progress measurable and achievable. Each step forward reinforces your sense of accomplishment and strengthens your commitment. When others try to divert your attention, these clearly defined steps act as a guide, keeping you grounded in purpose. Progress becomes tangible, and distractions lose their appeal when you are busy moving forward. Develop habits that reinforce focus and minimize distraction. Early mornings, consistent schedules, and deliberate planning are more than routines. They are signals to your mind and body that your priorities come first. Habits remove decision fatigue and create automatic momentum toward your goals. The more structured your environment and behavior, the easier it becomes to say no to interruptions without guilt. Habits make focus effortless over time because they embed your priorities into daily life. Celebrate progress without relying on external validation. Small wins along the way are proof that your prioritization is working. Acknowledge these moments internally and allow them to fuel your motivation. When you rely on yourself for recognition, external distractions become less persuasive. Your satisfaction comes from consistent action, not from someone else's approval. This mindset strengthens independence and keeps you aligned with long-term objectives. Your ability to prioritize goals and resist distraction directly impacts the quality of your life in 2026. Every day spent reacting to external noise is a day lost from creating the future you want. Energy, focus, and time are your most valuable assets. Protect them fiercely. Identify what matters most. Schedule your time deliberately. Create boundaries and consistently act with intention. The combination of clarity, discipline, and emotional awareness produces unstoppable momentum. The life you desire is built on daily choices that honor your goals above temporary distractions. Number 3, listen more than you speak to gain true wisdom. In 2026, one of the most overlooked but powerful actions you can take is to listen more than you speak. Most people think wisdom comes from talking, from showing others how much they know. But real understanding, real insight, comes from listening carefully to the world around you. When you speak less and pay attention more, you begin to notice patterns in behavior, solutions to problems, and opportunities that others miss because they are too busy expressing their own opinions. Listening is active, not passive. It requires focus, patience, and curiosity. Every conversation, every observation is a chance to learn something new if you are willing to listen fully and without judgment. Start by truly focusing on the person you are engaging with. Too often, people listen only to respond, not to understand. They are already preparing their next statement while pretending to pay attention. This habit destroys learning and awareness. Make it your goal to hear not just words, but emotions, intent, and underlying meaning. Observe tone, body language, and pauses. These signals reveal far more than spoken sentences alone. Listening in this way trains your mind to capture depth in communication and teaches you patience. Over time, the skill develops your ability to understand people, situations, and yourself more clearly. Listening more than speaking also allows you to learn from experience without having to go through everything personally. Every person around you carries lessons in their stories, successes, and mistakes. By listening actively, you absorb knowledge without risking unnecessary errors. This is how true wisdom grows. The more attentively you listen, the more mental data you collect to make smarter decisions. You start noticing solutions that were invisible before and gaining clarity on paths that seemed complicated. People often underestimate this power because it is quiet and subtle, but the effects are profound and lasting when practiced consistently. When you listen more than you speak, you also build stronger relationships. People feel respected and valued when they are heard fully. They trust you because you show genuine attention and understanding. This creates an environment where knowledge flows freely. Others are more likely to share insights, advice, and experiences that can accelerate your growth. Trust and understanding are built silently, not with constant talking or self-promotion. Listening shows maturity and intelligence. In 2026, relationships built on genuine attention will provide both personal and professional advantages that surface only when you choose to observe before responding. Listening requires you to quiet your own mind. Too often, internal chatter interferes with absorbing information. You may be judging, analyzing, or preparing a rebuttal instead of focusing on what is being said. To listen effectively, train yourself to pause your mental commentary. Be fully present in the moment. Notice the words, the emphasis, and the emotion behind what is spoken. When you master this, you start noticing subtleties others overlook. This skill not only enhances learning, but also builds emotional intelligence, because you begin recognizing feelings and motivations without needing to speak first. Another benefit of listening more is the ability to reflect and respond intelligently, rather than react impulsively. Speaking before understanding can create mistakes, misunderstandings, and missed opportunities. When you allow yourself to fully hear and process information, your responses become more strategic and effective. You gain control over interactions rather than being driven by immediate impulses. Over time, this approach establishes credibility. People recognize that your words carry weight because they are carefully considered, informed by true comprehension. Listening strengthens both judgment and influence because your input is rooted in understanding rather than reaction. Listening deeply also allows you to challenge your own assumptions. Most people operate with a set of beliefs that go unquestioned because they are too focused on expressing themselves. By listening more, you encounter ideas and perspectives that push you to think critically. You notice biases, gaps in knowledge, and areas for improvement. This reflective process builds humility and intelligence simultaneously. When you approach every conversation with curiosity rather than the need to prove yourself, you expand your mental capacity and your ability to navigate complex problems effectively. Active listening also involves observing silence and space in conversations. Moments of pause are often where insights and truths emerge. When you resist the urge to fill every silence with words, you give yourself and others the chance to process information more deeply. You notice patterns, intentions, and possibilities that would otherwise be missed. Silence becomes a tool for learning. It creates an opportunity to integrate information and consider consequences before responding. In 2026, mastering the balance between listening and speaking will give you an edge in both personal and professional arenas because clarity always comes from comprehension first. Listening also strengthens your decision-making skills. Every piece of information you absorb becomes a resource for evaluating choices and actions. The more data you gather through careful listening, the more informed and confident your decisions become. You learn to weigh facts, understand context, and anticipate outcomes before committing to action. Speaking too soon or without listening often leads to reactive choices that create unnecessary complications. When you practice listening consistently, your decisions reflect wisdom and foresight. Your reputation grows as someone who acts thoughtfully and strategically. Learning from silence and listening also nurtures self-discipline. It teaches patience, the ability to delay immediate gratification of speaking for the greater benefit of understanding. This control over your impulses strengthens focus and concentration. You begin to notice how often talking is used to seek attention or validation instead of serving meaningful communication. By redirecting this energy toward listening, you conserve mental and emotional resources. This habit of disciplined attention enhances your capacity to work on long-term goals, manage stress, and maintain clarity, even in challenging circumstances. Listening more than speaking allows you to access knowledge from diverse sources. Each person has a unique perspective shaped by experience, culture, and personal challenges. By paying close attention, you gain insights that textbooks, courses, or videos cannot always provide. Observing and absorbing real-life experiences builds practical intelligence. Wisdom is not only about knowing facts, but understanding how people, environments, and emotions interact in real situations. This practical awareness can be the difference between success and repeated mistakes. Listening is the key that opens this kind of understanding in everyday life. Listening also enhances empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Empathy is not just an emotional trait. It is a skill that allows you to navigate relationships, negotiations, and collaborations more effectively. By genuinely hearing and considering others' experiences, you build connections based on mutual respect and comprehension. Empathy expands your perspective, helping you anticipate challenges and opportunities in ways that self-centered thinking cannot. When you listen consistently, you develop emotional intelligence that influences every decision you make and every interaction you have. Another important factor is the internal feedback you gain from listening. As you absorb information and reflect on it, you begin to notice your own patterns, triggers, and blind spots. Listening creates a mirror that shows how you react to ideas and information. This self-awareness allows you to adjust behavior, improve communication, and cultivate patience. Over time, you become more strategic in your interactions because you understand not only others, but also how your responses shape outcomes. Listening strengthens both external understanding and internal insight simultaneously. Listening more than speaking also gives you the ability to seize opportunities that others miss. Many people talk too much, over-explaining themselves or dominating discussions. In the process, they overlook subtle hints, advice, or openings for growth. When you practice listening, you notice these cues. You become aware of insights hidden between words or implied in behavior. This awareness allows you to act decisively when the moment is right. Opportunities that go unnoticed by those who speak first are captured by those who listen carefully and respond with intention. The habit of listening over speaking creates confidence in thought and action. When your knowledge and understanding are built on observation and reflection, your words carry authority. You are not forced to fill silence to feel relevant. Instead, your contributions are meaningful and valued because they are informed. People recognize this difference, and your influence naturally increases. You become someone who is sought after for guidance, advice, and decision-making because your approach demonstrates intelligence, composure, and insight. Listening develops humility, which is often the foundation of wisdom. It reminds you that no matter how much you know, there is always more to learn. Every person, every experience, and every conversation has the potential to teach something new. By adopting the mindset of a listener first, you open yourself to continuous learning. You stop assuming that your perspective is always correct and begin to consider alternatives. This humility does not weaken you. It strengthens your judgment, enriches your perspective, and prepares you to handle complex situations with clarity. Finally, listening more than speaking allows you to cultivate patience and resilience in a fast-paced world. You become comfortable with silence, observation, and reflection. You learn that understanding takes time and that immediate reaction is rarely the most effective response. Your ability to process information thoroughly gives you stability in chaos and clarity in complexity. In 2026, developing this skill will differentiate you from those who speak impulsively and act without comprehension. True wisdom emerges when you prioritize listening over speaking. And this choice sets the stage for long-term success, growth, and meaningful influence. Number 4, protect your energy by avoiding unnecessary arguments daily. In 2026, one of the most important skills you can develop is protecting your energy by staying out of unnecessary arguments. Too many people waste hours each day in conflicts that produce no real value. Arguments drain mental focus, emotional balance, and physical energy. They leave you frustrated, distracted, and unable to concentrate on what truly matters. Learning to choose when to engage and when to step back is a powerful form of self-discipline. Protecting your energy is not about avoiding responsibility or ignoring important issues. It is about identifying which battles are worth your attention and which will only waste your time and peace of mind. Start by observing how often you engage in conflicts that accomplish nothing. Pay attention to conversations that escalate into arguments over trivial matters or opinions. Most disputes arise from ego, pride, or the need to be right. Recognize that proving a point rarely changes someone's mind, yet it costs you focus, energy, and emotional stability. By consciously refusing to engage in these conflicts, you maintain control over your mental state. You gain more clarity, more focus, and more energy to dedicate to your personal growth and your goals. This choice becomes a daily practice of prioritization and self-respect. Learn to pause before responding. Many arguments escalate because people react immediately without thinking. Impulsive reactions waste energy and often make situations worse. Take a moment to breathe, observe, and assess whether engaging will be productive. Ask yourself if your words will create solutions or simply generate conflict. This simple pause is a game changer in protecting energy. It allows you to respond intentionally rather than react emotionally. Over time, this practice builds patience, composure, and the ability to maintain focus on what truly matters rather than being pulled into distractions that drain you. Set clear boundaries with people who habitually engage in conflict. Not everyone will respect your energy naturally. Some will provoke, criticize, or try to involve you in disputes. Learning to disengage politely and firmly is essential. Protecting your energy requires both mental strength and clear communication. You do not have to justify your decision to avoid unnecessary arguments. Simply focusing on your own goals and priorities communicates your commitment without aggression. Boundaries create a protective space that allows you to maintain emotional balance and continue progressing toward your objectives. Understand that some arguments have no productive outcome. Many disagreements exist simply because people want to defend their opinions or assert power. Engaging in these debates wastes precious time and energy. Recognizing which conflicts are futile is a skill that develops with observation and reflection. Once you identify these situations, you can choose to step back. Avoiding futile arguments allows you to conserve focus, reduce stress, and maintain clarity. It also positions you as a person who acts with purpose rather than reacting to every provocation. Practice redirecting conversations towards solutions instead of disputes. When faced with conflict, focus on facts, actions, and possible improvements rather than emotions and blame. Shifting discussions toward constructive outcomes reduces wasted energy. It keeps your mind engaged in problem solving instead of fueling tension. People respond better to solutions than to confrontations. This approach strengthens relationships while protecting your emotional state. It also reinforces your reputation As someone who prioritizes effectiveness over petty arguments, self-awareness is crucial in avoiding unnecessary arguments. Notice your own triggers, frustrations, and tendencies to react emotionally. Understanding yourself allows you to respond intentionally instead of impulsively. When you recognize patterns in your behavior, you can implement strategies to maintain calm and protect energy. This may involve taking breaks, walking away, or simply remaining silent until emotions settle. Each time you succeed in controlling reactions, you strengthen mental resilience and demonstrate self-mastery that benefits all areas of your life. Protecting your energy also involves evaluating the sources of conflict in your environment. Certain people, situations, or routines consistently provoke tension. Identifying these sources allows you to make adjustments, minimize exposure, or engage selectively. Awareness of environmental triggers is as important as managing personal reactions. When you strategically choose where to invest your attention, you conserve energy and focus on what is meaningful. This creates an internal system of prioritization that helps you maintain balance even in high-stress situations. Learn to use silence as a tool for energy protection. Silence can prevent unnecessary escalation and allow reflection before responding. Choosing not to argue communicates strength and composure. Without confrontation, many people mistake silence for weakness, but in reality, it preserves clarity and focus. Silent observation also provides time to assess whether the argument has value or if it is simply a waste of energy. Practicing silence in tense moments strengthens discipline and ensures that your energy is used constructively rather than dissipated in fruitless conflict. Daily routines can support your effort to avoid unnecessary arguments. Structure your day to minimize exposure to triggers and distractions. Allocate time for reflection, focus, and purposeful engagement. Avoid conversations or activities that are known to escalate into disputes. This conscious organization of your schedule not only protects energy, but also reinforces your commitment to long-term goals. Habits of self-control and selective engagement compound over time, creating a lifestyle where energy is preserved and channeled toward meaningful progress rather than wasted in conflict. Recognize that avoiding arguments is not passive. It is an active decision to maintain focus, clarity, and emotional strength. Each moment you choose peace over conflict builds resilience and reinforces self-mastery. This mindset allows you to handle unavoidable disputes calmly and effectively without allowing them to drain your energy. Protecting your energy daily is a deliberate practice that strengthens focus, mental stability, and the capacity to pursue personal and professional growth without distraction. Reflect on past arguments to understand their cost. Consider the time, emotion, and attention spent on disagreements that achieved nothing. Analyze what could have been handled differently to preserve energy and maintain composure. This reflection develops insight, helping you make better choices in future interactions. Awareness of past energy losses motivates more disciplined decision-making and encourages intentional focus on actions that produce value. It teaches the lesson that not every engagement requires participation, and conserving energy is a skill that pays off repeatedly. Protecting energy also enhances productivity. Arguments often interrupt workflow, decrease concentration, and create stress that lingers for hours. By avoiding unnecessary conflicts, you maintain mental clarity and the ability to focus on important tasks. This results in higher output, better quality work, and less emotional fatigue. Energy saved from avoiding pointless disputes can be reinvested into personal growth, learning, and strategic action. This conscious allocation of mental resources amplifies results. and positions you for consistent progress. Finally, make it a daily habit to assess your interactions and choose wisely where to invest your energy. Each day presents multiple opportunities to engage or withdraw. By consistently evaluating the potential value and cost of involvement, you develop mastery over your attention and focus. This ongoing practice strengthens resilience, reduces stress, and increases the quality of your personal and professional life. Protecting energy is not occasional. It is a continuous commitment to self-preservation, intentional living, and achieving results without being consumed by unnecessary arguments. Number 5, focus on personal growth instead of comparing with others. In 2026, the most powerful mindset shift you can make is to concentrate on your own growth rather than constantly comparing yourself with others. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to lose clarity, motivation, and peace of mind. Every person has a different journey, different skills, and different circumstances. When you focus on someone else's path, you overlook opportunities to develop your own abilities and strengthen your mindset. Personal growth requires awareness, discipline, and consistent effort. Each day, dedicate time to learning, practicing, and improving in ways that matter to you. When your energy is devoted to growth, you naturally gain confidence, clarity, and results without needing to measure against others. Start by identifying your key areas for improvement. Reflect on your habits, skills, and knowledge. Ask yourself where you want to be in the next month, 6 months, and year. Set clear, measurable steps that contribute directly to your personal development. This creates a roadmap that is independent of anyone else's achievements. When you compare your progress against your own standards, you create a healthy form of accountability. You see exactly how far you have come and what steps are necessary to reach the next level. Focusing on personal growth is empowering because you control the process and the pace. Be aware of the triggers that lead to comparison. Social media, conversations, and even casual observations can make you feel inadequate or distracted. Instead of letting these triggers affect your emotions, use them as reminders to return your focus to your own growth. Limit exposure to situations that provoke envy or distraction. Replace scrolling with reading, learning, or skill development. Replace gossip or idle talk with reflection or productive action. This conscious redirection of energy ensures that your mind remains engaged in growth rather than being consumed by other people's achievements or opinions. Understand that growth is not linear. Some days will feel productive and others will feel stagnant. When you focus on personal development, you learn to measure progress by effort, consistency, and learning rather than external benchmarks. Celebrate small wins along the way and use setbacks as feedback to adjust your approach. Comparing yourself to others often magnifies frustration during challenges because you are evaluating yourself against someone else's highlight reel rather than your own reality. Focusing inward creates patience and resilience, which are essential for long-term improvement and success. Invest in learning consistently. Books, courses, podcasts, and mentors are tools for accelerating personal growth. The more knowledge and insight you acquire, the stronger your foundation becomes. Learning is an investment in yourself that compounds over time. Do not measure your learning against others. Some people may progress faster or slower, but your journey is unique. Concentrate on acquiring skills, perspectives, and habits that elevate your capacity to achieve your goals. Each moment spent learning is a moment that increases your value and confidence, independent of anyone else's accomplishments. Focus on skill development instead of recognition. Many people get distracted by the desire for approval, attention, or praise. This shifts energy away from meaningful growth. When you focus on enhancing your abilities and applying them consistently, recognition naturally follows. Growth should not be dependent on others' validation. It should be rooted in your own commitment to becoming a better version of yourself each day. By prioritizing mastery over attention, you create lasting competence, credibility, and self-assurance that cannot be shaken by comparisons. Practice self-reflection regularly. Take time each day to assess your actions, decisions, and progress. Ask yourself what went well, what could be improved, and what lessons you can carry forward. Journaling is a powerful tool for this practice because it helps you track patterns, understand mistakes, and celebrate growth in a tangible way. Reflection strengthens self-awareness, which is the cornerstone of personal development. The more aware you become, the easier it is to focus on your own path, instead of worrying about how you measure up to others. Understand that comparison steals energy and time. When you focus on others, you divert attention from actions that could directly improve your life. Instead of being frustrated or intimidated by someone else's progress, redirect that energy toward developing your own skills, mindset, and habits. Every moment spent comparing is a moment wasted in potential growth. Your goals, your pace, and your consistency define success, not the achievements of people around you. Make it a habit to ask yourself how each action today moves you closer to your personal growth rather than someone else's standard. Accountability can support personal growth. When applied correctly, share your goals and progress with a mentor, coach, or friend who encourages improvement. Accountability keeps you honest with yourself and allows for constructive feedback. The focus is on your development, not on surpassing someone else. By surrounding yourself with supportive individuals, you maintain clarity on your own journey and resist the urge to compare or compete unnecessarily. This creates a positive environment that reinforces your growth mindset daily. Celebrate your achievements privately and intentionally. When you acknowledge your improvements internally, you build self-esteem and motivation that do not rely on external recognition. This reduces the temptation to compare with others and strengthens your internal locus of control. Recognize the skills, knowledge, and habits you have developed. Notice the progress in your mindset, discipline, and resilience. By valuing your personal growth over external comparison, you establish confidence that fuels further improvement and allows you to stay focused on your own path in 2026. Avoid toxic comparisons that create stress or doubt. Many people unconsciously compare themselves to those who display only success or highlight reels. This distorted perspective leads to unnecessary anxiety and decreases self-worth. Remind yourself that everyone has struggles, failures, and unseen challenges. Instead of focusing on what others appear to have, focus on actions that expand your capacity, skills, and impact. This shift in perspective transforms energy from distraction into productive effort, creating consistent progress in personal growth without the emotional drain of constant comparison. Measure progress by effort, learning, and consistency. External achievements are temporary and often influenced by circumstances beyond your control. Personal growth is measurable by the daily actions you take to improve knowledge, skills, mindset, and emotional intelligence. When you track effort and improvement, you build a sense of accomplishment that comparison cannot provide. Your focus becomes internal, and your satisfaction comes from your own growth rather than external metrics. This approach creates resilience and motivation that persist even in challenging times. Focus on building habits that support growth. Daily routines, deliberate learning, and consistent practice create momentum that accumulates over time. Habits are the infrastructure for personal development. Prioritizing habits over comparisons ensures progress even when motivation fluctuates. Discipline in maintaining these habits strengthens character and self-confidence. By consistently showing up for yourself, You cultivate a sense of competence and purpose that comparison cannot disrupt. Habitual focus on improvement positions you to achieve long-term success in every area of life. Invest in emotional intelligence as part of growth. Understanding your emotions, triggers, and reactions improves decision-making and relationships. Personal development is not only about skill. The more productive and focused you are on meaningful actions, rather than being distracted by others' achievements. Personal growth also requires patience and persistence. Progress is rarely instant, and comparing your journey to someone else's timeline creates frustration. Understand that consistent effort compounds over time. Each small improvement adds to larger outcomes. By concentrating on personal growth and ignoring irrelevant comparisons, you build endurance, resilience, and the ability to maintain motivation, even when results are not immediately visible. Patience allows you to focus on what you can control, which is your effort, mindset, and actions, instead of external factors beyond your influence. Seek inspiration without comparison. Learn from the success of others as a source of guidance, not a standard to judge yourself. Observe strategies, habits, and mindsets that produced results and consider how to apply them in your own life. This approach converts external examples into learning opportunities rather than triggers for envy or inadequacy. By integrating insights from others while maintaining focus on your unique growth, you expand your abilities without losing focus on your own path. Focus on building confidence through competence. Competence grows when you consistently practice skills, expand knowledge, and strengthen habits. Comparing yourself to others often undermines confidence because it shifts attention from mastery to judgment. By prioritizing your own development, confidence is derived from actual ability and preparation rather than external validation. This internal confidence enhances decision-making, communication, and persistence. The stronger your self-reliance, the less attractive comparison becomes as a way to measure worth or progress. Track your progress visually or with measurable indicators. Seeing tangible evidence of improvement reinforces focus on personal growth. Progress tracking allows you to notice patterns, celebrate milestones, and adjust strategies when necessary. This reduces the need to measure yourself against others and strengthens motivation. By keeping attention on your own results, effort, and improvement, you create a self-sustaining cycle of growth that becomes more compelling than any external comparison could be. Finally, develop a mindset that values self-improvement over validation. The journey of personal growth is ongoing. When your identity and purpose are tied to your own development rather than the achievements of others, your focus remains steady. Comparison loses its power because you measure success by effort, learning, and growth. In 2026, this approach ensures that your energy is used efficiently, your motivation is self-generated, and your progress is consistent and meaningful. Develop discipline and stick to your daily routines. Discipline is the foundation of success in 2026, and developing it starts with consistent daily routines. Most people fail because they rely on motivation, which fluctuates. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when motivation is low. Creating a daily routine and following it without excuses builds mental strength and consistency. Each small action compounds over time, shaping your results in ways you may not immediately notice. Discipline is about commitment to yourself and your goals. It requires self-awareness, patience, and determination. When you adhere to your routines, you gain control over your time and your focus, which allows you to achieve more than you thought possible. Begin by defining a clear daily routine. Identify your highest priorities for the day and schedule specific times to work on them. Include personal development, work, physical activity, and reflection. Structure gives you clarity and prevents wasted time. Many people drift through their day reacting to distractions and other people's demands. By committing to a routine, you create a framework that ensures progress on what truly matters. Following the structure consistently trains your mind to focus and reduces the mental chaos that often undermines growth and productivity. Consistency is the key to building discipline. Showing up every day, even when you do not feel like it, strengthens your ability to act despite resistance. Habits are formed through repetition, and each day of consistent effort reinforces your self-control. Discipline is like a muscle. It becomes stronger the more you exercise it. Following your routines rigorously teaches your brain that action comes before mood. You learn that progress is created by doing, not by waiting for the perfect feeling or moment. Eliminate distractions that interrupt your routines. Social media, unnecessary notifications, and idle conversations are energy drains that prevent you from following through. Protect your time and focus by designing your environment to support your routines. Keep tools, resources, and spaces organized to minimize friction. The less effort required to begin a task, the easier it is to maintain discipline. Control over your environment reduces excuses and strengthens your commitment to sticking with your routines. Discipline also requires planning for obstacles. Life will always present interruptions, unexpected events, and competing demands. Anticipate challenges and create strategies to maintain your routine, even when conditions are not ideal. Flexibility within structure allows you to adapt without abandoning your commitment. Planning ahead ensures that your routines remain intact and progress continues, despite difficulties. Each time you navigate a challenge without breaking your routine, you reinforce resilience and self-discipline, strengthening your ability to maintain focus in any situation. Tracking progress reinforces discipline. Keep a log of completed tasks, milestones, and routines. This visual feedback encourages continued effort and builds accountability. Seeing your commitment materialize over time creates confidence and motivates you to maintain your routines. Discipline is easier to sustain when you can observe the results of your consistent actions. Recording progress also allows reflection, enabling you to adjust routines and improve efficiency while staying aligned with your long-term goals. Discipline is developed through self-control, which requires awareness of impulses and the ability to delay immediate gratification. Each decision to follow your routine instead of giving in to distractions strengthens this skill. Over time, self-control becomes automatic, reducing wasted energy and increasing efficiency. The ability to resist temptation is a critical factor in achieving long-term goals. When you master self-control, your daily routines become second nature, and success becomes a product of consistent action rather than luck or fleeting motivation. Start your day intentionally by focusing on your priorities. The first hours of the day often determine your overall productivity. Begin with high-value activities that contribute to personal growth, work goals, and health. Avoid reactive behaviors that waste energy and time. A disciplined morning routine sets the tone for the entire day. By establishing habits such as exercise, learning, and planning early, you build momentum and clarity that carry through every task, decision, and interaction you face throughout the day. Discipline also enhances emotional stability. When you stick to your routines, you gain a sense of control and predictability. This reduces stress and prevents impulsive decisions fueled by frustration or fatigue. Mental clarity emerges because your energy is focused on structured actions rather than scattered reactions. Over time, consistent routines cultivate confidence and self-trust. You develop the knowledge that you can rely on yourself to act effectively even in difficult circumstances. Emotional stability reinforces the ability to maintain discipline. even under pressure. Incorporate reflection into your daily routines. Take time each day to review what you accomplished, what worked well, and what needs adjustment. Reflection allows you to learn from experience, refine your routines, and stay aligned with your goals. This habit reinforces self-awareness and ensures that your discipline is intentional rather than robotic. By reflecting on daily actions, you gain insight into your behavior patterns and make adjustments that strengthen productivity, focus, and efficiency. Reflection is a core component of disciplined personal growth. Accountability supports routine adherence. Share your goals, routines, and progress with someone who can provide constructive feedback and encouragement. External accountability increases commitment because you are not only accountable to yourself, it strengthens your resolve and helps maintain routines during challenging periods. Being accountable does not mean dependence. It is a tool for reinforcing discipline. Knowing someone is observing your commitment motivates you to follow through consistently and maintain the integrity of your daily actions. Discipline in routines also improves decision-making. When habits are established, you reduce the number of trivial choices that drain mental energy. Structured routines automate positive behaviors, allowing focus and energy to be devoted to critical decisions. This reduces fatigue and improves performance across personal and professional areas, which frees mental space for creativity, problem solving, and strategic thinking. Discipline is the engine that drives consistent decision making and effective results. Physical routines strengthen mental discipline. Incorporate exercise, proper nutrition, and sufficient rest into your daily plan. The body and mind are interconnected. Regular physical activity builds endurance, focus, and emotional regulation. Proper nutrition fuels your brain and body, enhancing concentration and resilience. Adequate rest ensures recovery and sustained energy throughout the day. Neglecting these areas undermines the ability to maintain routines and weakens overall discipline. Taking care of your body is a core part of creating sustainable habits that support long-term personal growth. Time management is essential to routine discipline. Allocate specific periods for work, learning, reflection, and leisure. Avoid multitasking, which reduces efficiency and mental clarity. Focus on one task at a time within your structured schedule. Time blocking reinforces discipline by creating a predictable framework that guides daily actions. Effective time management ensures that routines are executed consistently and energy is channeled into high-value activities that produce meaningful results. Discipline requires resilience when routines are disrupted. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks will occur. The ability to return to your routine without frustration is a hallmark of true self-discipline. Each recovery reinforces strength and perseverance. Learn from disruptions without abandoning structure. Adapting while staying committed ensures continuity and progress and builds confidence in your ability to maintain discipline under any circumstances. Sticking to routines also improves focus and reduces procrastination. When actions are pre-planned, decisions about what to do next are already made. This minimizes hesitation and increases efficiency. Daily repetition trains the mind to focus on important tasks automatically. Over time, sticking to routines transforms productivity from an effortful struggle into a natural flow of consistent action. Discipline and execution creates momentum that compounds over time. Continuous improvement should be part of your routines. Evaluate your results and seek ways to refine your processes. Discipline is not rigid. It is intentional and adaptable. By assessing performance and making adjustments, You ensure that routines remain aligned with evolving goals and circumstances. Continuous improvement prevents stagnation and reinforces the value of disciplined effort. It ensures that every day of consistent action contributes meaningfully to your personal and professional growth. Teach yourself to enjoy the structure that routines provide. Discipline is easier to sustain when you view routines as opportunities rather than obligations. Embrace the clarity, progress, and control that disciplined habits offer. Enjoyment reinforces consistency, reduces resistance, and creates a positive feedback loop where routine adherence becomes satisfying and self-reinforcing. When discipline is paired with purpose and awareness, routines become a natural part of your lifestyle, not a chore to endure. Maintain flexibility within discipline. While routines are important, occasional adjustments are necessary to accommodate new priorities or challenges. Flexibility ensures that your discipline remains sustainable. Over time, strict rigidity can lead to frustration and burnout. By balancing structure with adaptability, you preserve the integrity of your routines while remaining responsive to life's demands. This balance strengthens resilience, consistency, and long-term adherence to disciplined practices. Use reminders and cues to support routines. External signals, such as alarms, notes, or visual prompts, reinforce consistency and reduce reliance on memory or motivation. These tools help maintain adherence to daily plans, especially during busy or challenging periods. Reminders keep you on track, strengthen habits, and support the long-term development of discipline. Over time, the repetition of actions reduces dependence on external prompts as routines become internalized. Discipline also involves accountability to yourself. Take responsibility for following through with routines, regardless of circumstances. Avoid excuses and rationalizations that justify skipping tasks. Personal accountability ensures that commitment remains strong and habits are reinforced daily. The ability to consistently follow through develops integrity, reliability, and self-respect. Each completed routine builds momentum and confidence, further reinforcing disciplined behavior over time. Focus on incremental improvement within routines. Discipline is not about perfection, but progress. Each day of consistent adherence adds to your skills, knowledge, and resilience. Small, repeated actions compound into significant results over weeks, months, and years. Prioritizing improvement within established routines keeps motivation high and ensures that effort is continuously translated into meaningful growth. Incremental progress strengthens discipline and solidifies lifelong habits that support success in all areas of life. Number 7, read and learn consistently to expand your mind. In 2026, one of the most powerful investments you can make is in reading and learning consistently. Knowledge is the foundation for making better decisions. Every hour you spend learning strengthens your mind and sharpens your thinking. Consistent reading and study create mental flexibility, allowing you to see situations from multiple perspectives and respond effectively. Learning is not just about gathering facts. It is about training your mind to think critically, solve problems, and understand the world around you. When you commit to daily learning, you build a mindset that is resilient, adaptable, and prepared for challenges that arise unexpectedly. Start by selecting materials that align with your goals and aspirations. Focus on books, articles, and courses that improve your professional abilities, personal development, and understanding of human behavior. Choose topics that stretch your thinking and push you to consider ideas you might not have explored before. Consistent exposure to new concepts strengthens your mental framework and helps you make better choices. Avoid passive consumption of information and actively engage with what you read by reflecting, questioning, and applying insights to your life. This process turns knowledge into actionable growth. Set a daily learning habit and treat it like a non-negotiable commitment. Even small, consistent efforts add up over time. A short reading session every morning or evening can lead to profound changes over months. The key is consistency and intentionality. Avoid waiting for the perfect conditions or for inspiration to strike. Because those moments are unreliable, discipline in reading ensures that your mind continues to grow regardless of mood or external circumstances. Over time, this consistent effort creates confidence, perspective, and mental clarity that others often lack. Actively take notes while reading or learning. Writing down insights, questions, and observations reinforces retention and understanding. The act of processing information strengthens cognitive connections and helps you apply knowledge in real-life situations. Reflect on what you learn and consider how it affects your choices, behavior, and goals. Notes and summaries become tools for reviewing and reinforcing progress. They also provide a personal reference for ideas and strategies that can guide decision-making and growth in the future. Engage with material critically rather than passively. Ask yourself questions. Analyze arguments and challenge assumptions. Learning is most effective when your mind is involved in evaluating, synthesizing, and applying information. By thinking critically about what you read, you expand mental agility, strengthen reasoning, and develop the ability to recognize valuable insights. Critical thinking enhances decision-making and positions you to act with knowledge rather than reaction. Balance learning across different areas of life. While skill development in your profession is important, personal growth and emotional intelligence are equally critical. Explore subjects such as psychology, communication, leadership, and problem solving to broaden your understanding of human behavior and relationships. A well-rounded mind sees patterns, predicts outcomes, and adapts effectively to change. By diversifying your learning, you equip yourself to handle challenges from multiple angles and respond with insight rather than impulse. Apply what you learn immediately. Knowledge without action is wasted potential. Implement ideas, test strategies, and practice skills in your daily life. Action converts theory into experience, deepening understanding and building competence. Applying lessons learned from reading strengthens confidence and demonstrates the practical value of learning. This creates a feedback loop where learning informs action and action reinforces learning. Accelerating personal growth. Each application improves your decision-making, problem-solving, and overall effectiveness. Surround yourself with people who value learning. Engage in discussions, join study groups, and share insights with those who challenge and support your growth. Exposure to different perspectives deepens understanding and prevents stagnation. Learning in isolation limits the richness of knowledge, whereas interaction with thoughtful individuals sharpens your thinking. Dialogue encourages curiosity, accountability, and the exchange of ideas, all of which expand mental capacity and create opportunities for practical application of knowledge. Use technology to your advantage without becoming distracted. Digital resources provide access to articles, audiobooks, and courses that support learning. However, avoid aimless scrolling and passive consumption that wastes time. Schedule focused learning sessions and choose high-quality sources. Balance screen time with reading printed material or writing notes to enhance retention. Technology should amplify learning rather than replace the discipline and engagement required to grow your mind effectively. Reflect regularly on what you learn. Take time to integrate insights into your thinking and decision-making. Reflection allows you to connect ideas, understand their relevance, and consider practical applications. It strengthens memory and encourages deeper comprehension. By actively reflecting, you turn learning into wisdom that can guide action in your personal and professional life. Reflection bridges the gap between information and understanding, ensuring that knowledge transforms behavior. Reading diversely exposes you to different cultures, experiences, and ideas. This expands empathy and perspective, enabling better communication and understanding of others. Exposure to varied viewpoints develops tolerance, adaptability, and creativity. Learning from a broad range of subjects allows you to see connections and patterns that others may miss. A wide perspective enhances problem-solving, innovation, and leadership, making consistent learning a powerful tool for personal empowerment and influence. Prioritize learning as an investment in yourself. Time spent reading and studying is a commitment to building a stronger mind and improving decision-making. Consider it a core component of your daily routine that produces long-term dividends. Unlike material possessions, knowledge cannot be taken away, and its value increases as you apply it. The cumulative effect of consistent learning enhances your skills, mindset, and opportunities. Each day devoted to growth strengthens your ability to handle challenges, seize opportunities, and achieve meaningful success. Maintain curiosity and a growth mindset. Approach learning with the belief that you can improve and expand your understanding continuously. A curious mind is open to new ideas, willing to explore unknown territory, and resilient in the face of difficulty. Curiosity drives motivation to learn, question, and apply knowledge consistently. By cultivating this mindset, you transform learning from a task into a natural habit, ensuring ongoing expansion of your mental capacity and the ability to adapt effectively to changing circumstances. Create a system for retaining and reviewing knowledge. Periodically, revisit notes, summaries, and key concepts to reinforce learning. Repetition strengthens memory and ensures that lessons are not forgotten. Reviewing material helps you identify gaps, solidify understanding, and deepen insight. A systematic approach to learning and retention ensures that the effort invested produces lasting results and continually enhances your mind. This process turns temporary knowledge into permanent capability that supports personal and professional growth. Combine reading with practical experimentation. Theory gains value when tested through action. Implement strategies, apply concepts, and analyze outcomes to confirm understanding. Experimentation reinforces learning, highlights nuances, and provides first-hand insight. This hands-on approach transforms abstract ideas into tangible skills and experience. It also builds confidence in applying knowledge and creates a continuous cycle where learning informs practice and practice enhances understanding. Use reflection to connect new learning to past experiences. Relating new knowledge to what you already know strengthens memory, improves comprehension, and enhances application. Connections between past and present experiences allow for deeper insight and better problem solving. By consistently linking new ideas to your life, you make learning personally relevant and actionable. This approach ensures that knowledge is not only acquired, but also integrated into your thinking and behavior. Challenge yourself with advanced or difficult material. Growth occurs when your mind is stretched beyond comfort zones. Tackling complex concepts or unfamiliar subjects develops cognitive flexibility, perseverance, and analytical skills. Difficult material may require more effort and focus, but the rewards include sharper thinking, improved comprehension, and increased resilience. Embracing intellectual challenges strengthens discipline and positions your mind to handle greater complexity in all areas of life. Reading and learning consistently also enhances communication skills. Exposure to diverse ideas, vocabulary, and perspectives improves your ability to express thoughts clearly and persuasively. Enhanced communication strengthens relationships, influence, and leadership. A well-informed mind articulates ideas effectively, listens critically, and adapts messaging to different audiences. Consistent learning improves both the substance and delivery of your communication, making knowledge actionable through connection and impact. Make learning enjoyable to sustain consistency. Choose materials that interest you, vary formats to maintain engagement, and celebrate insights and progress. Enjoyment strengthens motivation and reduces resistance. When learning is associated with curiosity and personal satisfaction, it becomes a natural part of daily life rather than a chore. This positive approach ensures that reading and education continue consistently throughout 2026, creating cumulative growth and expanding your mind in ways that build confidence, capability, and opportunity. Number 8, limit social media to maintain mental clarity and focus. In 2026, maintaining mental clarity and focus requires conscious control over social media use. Excessive scrolling divides attention and reduces your ability to concentrate on meaningful work. Every notification, video, or post interrupts thought processes and breaks your mental flow. Limiting social media allows your mind to settle, focus, and prioritize what truly matters. Constant exposure to information overload and comparison can drain emotional energy and create unnecessary stress. By intentionally reducing screen time, you create space to think clearly, process ideas deeply, and take purposeful actions that align with your personal goals. Begin by identifying how much time you currently spend on social media each day. Track usage honestly and recognize patterns of distraction. Awareness is the first step toward control. Many people do not realize how much time is lost to passive scrolling and meaningless consumption. Once you understand your habits, you can set clear limits and prioritize activities that create real value. Replace mindless browsing with reading, learning, reflection, or skill building to maximize the return on your attention and energy. Set strict boundaries around social media usage. Decide specific times of the day for checking platforms rather than responding impulsively to notifications. Discipline and scheduling prevent social media from dictating your day. Focus blocks of work or personal development without interruptions increase efficiency and mental clarity. When you regain control over your attention, your productivity improves and your sense of calm strengthens. Intentional boundaries prevent distraction from undermining your progress and reduce mental clutter. Social media often exposes you to comparisons and external validation. Limiting exposure protects emotional well-being and prevents feelings of inadequacy or envy. Comparison creates unnecessary pressure and distracts you from your own growth. By reducing time spent online, you can focus on personal goals and achievements rather than the lives of others. This practice strengthens self-confidence and self-direction, allowing you to take ownership of your path and decisions without external influence dominating. Be conscious of the content you consume. Not all information is valuable or beneficial. Avoid sensational, negative, or mindless posts that waste energy. Seek content that inspires, educates, or adds practical value to your life. Curate your feed with intention, so every minute spent online contributes positively. The quality of information consumed impacts your thinking, mood, and decision-making. Intentional selection of content reinforces focus, clarity, and mental strength, while passive consumption weakens control over attention and emotions. Turn off notifications to prevent constant interruptions. Alerts trigger automatic checking and fragment attention. Each interruption reduces focus and makes deep work more difficult. Silence notifications for non-essential apps and reserve alert access for meaningful communication only. This small adjustment enhances concentration, reduces stress, and allows your mind to stay engaged in purposeful activities. Interruptions drain energy, and their absence restores a sense of calm and control, which is critical for maintaining clarity and productivity. Replace social media time with productive routines. Fill those minutes with reading, skill development, exercise, reflection, or creative work. The more you replace passive habits with intentional action, the easier it becomes to stay focused. Replacing unproductive habits with structured routines strengthens discipline and accelerates progress toward personal goals. Each choice to act intentionally over mindless scrolling compounds over time, creating measurable improvements in mental focus, knowledge, and achievement. Understand that social media often creates false urgency. Endless notifications and trending content trigger reactive behavior, pulling you into immediate attention cycles. Limiting exposure allows you to focus on what is truly urgent and important, prioritizing real-life responsibilities and high-value tasks builds productivity and self-respect. Recognizing and rejecting false urgency frees your mind from constant distraction and prepares you to act deliberately on what matters most. Use technology to reinforce limits rather than override them. Apps and device settings can monitor usage and enforce time limits. Tools that track and restrict social media exposure provide accountability and prevent unconscious overuse. Digital management combined with self-discipline creates a sustainable balance between connectivity and focus. With controlled usage, you regain hours of mental energy each week that can be redirected toward learning, reflection, and goal achievement. Develop mindfulness around social media engagement. Pause before opening apps and ask yourself why you are using them. Are you seeking information, connection, or distraction? Mindful use prevents automatic scrolling and enhances conscious decision making. Practicing this awareness strengthens mental clarity, reduces wasted time, and encourages intentional actions aligned with your priorities. Over time, mindful engagement transforms social media from a passive habit into a purposeful tool. Recognize the emotional effects of social media. Constant comparison, negativity, and information overload can increase stress, anxiety, and distraction. Limiting exposure allows your emotions to stabilize and your mental state to recover. Mental clarity comes from reducing unnecessary emotional triggers and creating an environment where focus and calm prevail. Emotional regulation is enhanced when your attention is protected, allowing better decision-making, learning, and productivity. Set goals for social media use. Treat online engagement like any other tool, with a defined purpose. Limit use to professional growth, meaningful communication, or verified information. Avoid mindless consumption that provides no value. Goal-directed use increases efficiency and prevents time from being lost to unproductive habits. When social media has a defined purpose, it supports growth rather than draining focus or energy. Create offline routines to replace social media habits. Spend time in reflection, exercise, personal projects, or learning. These routines reinforce focus and discipline, while giving the mind space to process ideas deeply. Offline activities strengthen resilience and attention span, which social media often diminishes. Regularly engaging in offline routines ensures that your mental energy is directed toward what matters most in your life. Practice periodic detoxes from social media. A day or more without scrolling or checking feeds resets mental clarity and strengthens self-control. Temporary breaks highlight how much time and energy are regained and provide perspective on usage habits. Detox periods reinforce intentional engagement reduce emotional fatigue, and allow deeper focus on personal goals and growth. Regular breaks build resilience and demonstrate control over attention. Replace habitual social media checking with reading or journaling. Writing thoughts, reflecting on goals, and processing ideas strengthens focus and self-awareness. These practices enhance mental clarity and provide tangible progress toward personal growth. Unlike scrolling, which often produces passive consumption and distraction, reading and journaling are active engagements that sharpen the mind and reinforce discipline. Limit social media to preserve sleep quality. Nighttime scrolling disrupts rest, reduces focus, and impacts mood. Establish a cutoff time in the evening for devices to ensure adequate sleep. Proper rest is essential for cognitive performance, emotional stability, and overall health. Protecting sleep by reducing social media exposure ensures your mind is clear, sharp, and prepared to focus on priorities the next day. Teach yourself patience with delayed responses. Social media encourages instant reactions and constant engagement. Limiting usage allows you to practice restraint and focus on meaningful interactions rather than impulsive responses. Delaying unnecessary engagement strengthens self-control and frees mental space. Patience and intentionality cultivate deeper relationships, better decision-making, and sustained mental clarity over time. Observe the impact of reduced social media on productivity. Track tasks completed, focus levels, and energy after limiting online engagement. This observation reinforces the benefits and motivates continued discipline. Awareness of progress and improvement strengthens commitment and provides proof that reduced social media enhances life. Positive feedback from intentional limits builds confidence and encourages continued mindful use. Prioritize real-world connections over online interaction. Face-to-face communication and shared experiences provide depth and emotional fulfillment that social media cannot replicate. Limiting virtual engagement allows more time for meaningful relationships, collaboration, and personal growth. Prioritizing human connection improves emotional well-being, focus, and clarity, supporting both personal and professional development. Control over social media usage is a skill that compounds over time. Each conscious choice to limit distractions strengthens discipline, mental clarity, and focus. Protecting attention ensures that energy is invested in activities that produce results rather than wasted on passive scrolling. The consistent practice of limiting social media cultivates a mindset of intentionality, resilience, and sustained productivity, setting the stage for significant personal and professional growth in 2026. Number 9, reflect on your progress regularly without seeking approval. In 2026, one of the most important practices for personal growth is regular reflection. Taking time to review your progress allows you to recognize accomplishments, identify challenges, and adjust your strategies. Reflection is not about seeking validation from others, but about understanding your journey and making informed choices. When you measure your growth internally, you build confidence and self-reliance that no external approval can replicate. Regular reflection provides clarity about what works and what does not, and it allows you to make improvements consistently. Without this habit, it is easy to lose focus, repeat mistakes, or overlook opportunities for growth. Start by setting aside dedicated time each day or week for reflection. Use a quiet space where distractions are minimized, allowing your mind to focus completely on your experiences and actions. During this time, ask yourself meaningful questions about your progress, decisions, and outcomes. Consider what actions moved you closer to your goals and which behaviors may have slowed you down. By reviewing these details honestly, you gain insights that help you make better choices in the future. Reflection is not a passive activity. It requires attention, honesty, and engagement with your own life. Keep a personal journal to track progress over time. Writing thoughts and observations helps clarify ideas and strengthens understanding. Document both successes and areas that need improvement. When you record your experiences, patterns emerge that may not be visible in the moment. Journaling also provides a private space to analyze your actions without pressure from outside opinions. Over weeks and months, your journal becomes a map of growth that allows you to see progress clearly and make informed decisions for continued improvement. Focus on self-assessment rather than comparison. When reflecting, avoid measuring yourself against others. Each person's journey is unique, and comparison often leads to distraction, doubt, or discouragement. Instead, evaluate your own performance, growth, and learning. Ask whether you are improving from where you were yesterday and whether your actions align with your goals. This approach strengthens self-awareness and builds resilience, allowing you to remain committed to your personal path without external validation shaping your choices. Use reflection to identify habits that support growth and those that hinder progress. Assess daily routines, decisions, and behaviors with honesty. Determine what habits have been beneficial and which need adjustment. Awareness of patterns enables you to replace unproductive behaviors with actions that reinforce progress. By examining your actions systematically, you develop strategies for maintaining positive momentum and eliminating practices that slow or distract from your goals. Reflection turns experience into actionable knowledge, strengthening discipline and intentionality. Reflect on emotional responses to challenges and successes. Understanding how emotions influence behavior provides insight into decision-making and self-regulation. Acknowledge feelings such as frustration, excitement, or stress, and consider how they impacted your actions. Emotional awareness helps you manage reactions more effectively in the future, enabling clearer thinking and better responses to difficulties. Reflection without emotional honesty is incomplete, as growth is shaped not only by actions but also by understanding how you respond internally to experiences. Set specific questions to guide reflection sessions. Ask yourself what progress was made, which decisions were most effective, and where improvements can be applied. Consider whether you stayed consistent with your values and priorities. Structured reflection ensures that your time reviewing your journey is focused and productive. Without guiding questions, reflection can become aimless or superficial. A disciplined approach to reviewing progress sharpens self-awareness and provides clear insights for the next steps in personal and professional development. Avoid seeking recognition from others during reflection. Your assessment should be private and independent, free from judgment or expectation. External approval can distort your perception of progress, creating dependence on others for motivation. By focusing solely on your own evaluation, you strengthen internal validation and develop confidence in your ability to measure success objectively. Internal assessment allows you to celebrate achievements authentically and make adjustments based on truth rather than perception. Combine reflection with goal review. Check your progress against specific objectives to ensure alignment with your long-term vision. Determine whether actions taken are moving you toward desired outcomes and adjust plans if necessary. Reflection without connection to goals may lack direction. Aligning self-assessment with objectives allows for strategic decision-making, ensuring that effort is concentrated on what truly matters. This approach fosters intentional growth and measurable achievement over time. Use reflection to track learning from mistakes. Each error presents an opportunity to understand what went wrong and how to improve. Analyze situations where results were not as expected, considering alternative actions that could have produced better outcomes. Embrace mistakes as learning experiences rather than sources of regret. Reflection transforms errors into valuable lessons that accelerate growth and prevent repeating unproductive patterns. This approach strengthens resilience and reinforces accountability for personal development. Include both short-term and long-term perspectives in reflection. Examine immediate results and how they contribute to broader life objectives. Recognize small wins as well as progress toward larger goals. Both levels of insight are important for maintaining motivation and clarity. Short-term evaluation informs adjustments in day-to-day actions, while long-term reflection ensures your journey remains aligned with values and aspirations. Combining these perspectives strengthens foresight and decision-making capacity. Incorporate self-feedback into reflection practice. Ask yourself, what could have been done differently? What choices aligned with values and how behaviors influenced outcomes? Honest self-feedback is crucial for growth and builds self-discipline. External criticism is often inconsistent, delayed, or biased, but self-feedback is immediate, actionable, and tailored to your development. When you rely on your own judgment, you gain clarity and strengthen the ability to self-correct, creating continuous improvement over time. Observe patterns of productivity, focus, and energy during reflection. Identify which environments, routines, and habits maximize output, and which drain motivation or concentration. Adjust schedules and routines based on these observations. Awareness of what conditions support your best performance allows for smarter planning and more effective use of time and energy. Reflection provides insight into how your life can be structured for maximum efficiency and sustained progress. Reflect on the balance between effort and results. Determine if the energy invested aligns with meaningful outcomes. Sometimes hard work is misdirected, and reflection helps redirect focus to high-impact actions. Evaluate where time and effort are producing results and where adjustments are needed. This practice ensures that you are not working harder in ineffective ways but are making intentional choices that yield real progress. Awareness of effort versus impact builds efficiency and purposeful action. Use reflection to celebrate milestones privately. Acknowledge progress, skill improvement, and consistency without seeking praise from others. Celebrating achievements internally strengthens confidence, motivation, and satisfaction. Recognition from oneself carries more value than external approval because it is authentic, enduring, and not dependent on external judgment. Internal celebration reinforces the habit of reflection as a meaningful and rewarding practice, cultivating self-respect and commitment to growth. Make reflection a habit integrated into your routine. Consistency ensures that insights are captured and applied regularly. Without routine, reflection is sporadic and less effective. Daily or weekly practice strengthens self-awareness, accountability, and intentionality. Habitual reflection encourages mindfulness about actions, choices, and growth, creating a continual cycle of learning, adjustment, and improvement that compounds over time. Consider both successes and setbacks during reflection. Understanding what led to achievements and what caused difficulties provides a complete picture. Reflection without examining failures or obstacles offers limited insight. Analyze decisions, strategies, and behaviors in detail to extract lessons that can guide future choices. Balanced evaluation ensures that growth is informed, adaptive, and resilient, preparing you to handle challenges with greater confidence and clarity. Reflect on your motivation and commitment regularly. Examine whether actions are aligned with personal values, priorities, and long-term vision. Assessing motivation helps identify areas of misalignment or distraction and allows for conscious adjustment. Consistent evaluation strengthens self-discipline and ensures that effort is directed toward meaningful objectives. Reflection with attention to motivation cultivates clarity, intentionality, and sustained focus on growth. Use reflection to plan improvements. After assessing progress, identify actionable steps for the next phase. Create a clear plan based on insights gained from self-evaluation. Planning informed by reflection ensures that lessons learned are applied rather than forgotten. This practice transforms reflection from a passive review into a strategic tool for continuous improvement, ensuring that each session drives tangible progress toward personal and professional goals. Practice detachment from outcomes during reflection. Focus on learning and growth rather than external approval or recognition. Detachment allows for honest evaluation and prevents discouragement from external judgments. Reflecting without attachment to how others perceive progress strengthens resilience, confidence, and self-reliance. This approach ensures that reflection contributes to authentic growth and prepares you to act in alignment with personal values rather than societal expectations. In 2026, the way you manage your achievements will define the respect and credibility you earn. Sharing accomplishments prematurely often invites unnecessary opinions, distractions, and even doubt. People may react with jealousy, criticism, or skepticism that can affect your focus and energy. By keeping your progress private, you maintain control over your narrative and protect your mental space. Let your work and results demonstrate your capability. Actions and measurable outcomes carry far more weight than words or announcements. When your results are visible, they naturally command attention and admiration without forcing recognition or creating external validation dependencies. Focus on building silently while others remain unaware of your full efforts. Dedicate time, energy, and resources to perfecting your craft without feeling the need to prove anything externally. People who demand constant recognition often risk exposing weaknesses or vulnerabilities before results confirm competence. By staying private, you avoid external distractions that can compromise the quality of your work. Concentration on execution without the pressure of audience opinion allows you to move faster, make better decisions, and remain consistent in pursuing your goals. Understand that not everyone needs to know your progress. Sharing achievements too soon can invite unsolicited advice or criticism that may derail your focus. Protecting your journey ensures that energy is spent on action rather than explaining or defending your choices. Mental space and clarity